Greetings to the anointed. Destiny pulls you by the collar through fire and expects you to thank it afterward, rather than giving you a courteous touch on the shoulder. The truth is that fewer than 2% of individuals reach their full potential, not because they are untalented, but rather because they falter under pressure or settle for mediocrity. Then there are you, the selected ones, the unrelenting, unbridled anomalies who are bound for greatness. You were designed to be distinct, not by chance. You follow a road that others find incomprehensible, and what's even more amazing is that this life picked you rather than you asking for it. Your own being is programmed with an uncompromising road plan. Don't get me wrong, excellence isn't a VIP lounge with infinite champagne. It's a battleground where wounds turn into rewards, and comedy is often your only defense. Believe me, you may as well pack marshmallows for when destiny arrives with fire. So hold on tight. This is a reckoning, not only incentive. Nothing can stop you if you are selected, which is both fortunate and kind of a cosmic joke. First of all, your superpower is being misunderstood. Being misinterpreted is evidence that your mind is functioning at a different frequency, not a weakness. When you're selected, it's common for people to reject things that they can't define or explain. You may have thoughts that are continuously upending the existing quo, aspirations that seem unattainable, or ideas that seem crazy to others. Some individuals feel uneasy or even intimidated by it, and their first reaction when they don't comprehend you is to minimize your brilliance or categorize you as odd. The truth is that every game changer has been misinterpreted at some time. Remember that trailblazers, inventors, and visionaries were often mocked before they were admired. The most obvious indication that you're doing something innovative is when you're not in tune with the world around you. It's likely that others don't have the imagination to see what you already know deep down when they stare at you like you're insane. Most people stick to what they know and play it safe, but you can't. Your superpower is that you refuse to conform to the expectations of others. It encourages you to question conventions, think creatively, and achieve breakthroughs that others might only imagine. It may be lonely, to be sure, but when the outcomes speak for themselves, loneliness fades. In actuality, brilliance is incomprehensible to small-minded people until it is proven beyond dispute. Therefore, it is not your responsibility to explain yourself or tone down your brilliance when others don't understand you. Keep going and continue to be misinterpreted, because ultimately, the world will catch up. They'll finally see what you've been trying to teach them all along when it does. Second, your compass is suffering. Pain serves as a roadmap for your next success, not merely something to endure. The majority of people ignore it, numb it, or act as if it doesn't exist. Being a chosen one, however, teaches you early on that suffering is a teacher rather than an adversary. It's the neon sign that flashes to let you know where growth is waiting. It removes all falsehoods, revealing the unvarnished truth about your identity and potential. The most difficult times in your life are not arbitrary cruelties from the world. Rather, they are purposeful trials meant to hone your intuition, fortify your resolve, and demonstrate your fortitude. When you experience rejection, heartache, betrayal, or failure, there's always a question that lurks underneath the pain. Will this cause you to break or grow? Those who are chosen always decide to be constructed. The twist is that when you're near something significant, pain manifests itself most strongly. It challenges you to press through, much like a guard dog guarding the gates of greatness. Those gates are never reached by those who give up at the first hint of pain. However, you are unique. You persevere because you understand that every cut contains knowledge, and every scar is a sign of survival. Pain has a peculiar way of losing its hold on you when you've endured it long enough. It turns into gasoline, You move with clarity because you've previously been through the worst and come out stronger, while others break under pressure. Pain serves as evidence that you are unstoppable. Therefore, learn from it instead of resisting it. Allow it to mold you into something unbreakable, because chosen one are shaped by the flames they choose to face, rather than by their accomplishment. Third, deviations are enhancements rather than diversions. Particularly when you're destined for success, life seldom goes as planned. Detours are not arbitrary. They are a necessary part of the experience. They seem to impart knowledge, guide you to a more advantageous path, or moderate your pace enough to allow you to notice possibilities that you would have missed if you had been moving at full speed. The issue is that the majority of people see date as failures, setbacks, or diversions. But those that are selected are wiser. They are aware that although the goal may alter, the path may. Consider this. You most likely learned some of your most important lessons from locations you never planned to visit. Perhaps you accepted a position that wasn't in your ideal career path, but gained knowledge that would later serve as your hidden weapon. Or you found a strong feeling of self and connection elsewhere, after being forced to terminate a relationship that seemed to be everything at the time. These detours are advancements in disguise, not coincidences. Stopping battling the process is crucial. It's simple to get irritated or believe you're headed in the wrong direction when things don't go your way. However, diversions help you become a better person by fostering the patience, flexibility, and fortitude you need to manage the enormous achievement that lies ahead. You would be crushed by success if you lacked such attributes. The chosen ones thrive on diversions, not just endure them. They transform what should have slowed them down into speed by using every unexpected bend as fuel. Therefore, don't panic when life throws you a curveball. Bend over. Every delay has a purpose, and most of the time that purpose is to prepare you for something far greater than you had anticipated. Have faith in the detour. It's a necessary step on your path to success. Number 4. Greatness draws praise and condemnation. There are two sides to excellence. On the one hand, it brings you opportunity, notoriety, and adoration. Conversely, it makes you seem like a target. More people will observe, criticize, and perhaps attempt to drag you back down the higher you go. That is a reflection of your influence, rather than your shortcomings, because it makes them face their own mediocrity. People put their fears onto those who shine the brightest. When you are a chosen one, criticism is unavoidable, but it also indicates that you are headed in the correct way. Consider this. Nobody ever snaps pictures of someone who is still or blending in with the backdrop. People only critique what is obvious, and the more brilliant you are, the more loud the criticism will be. The fact is, however, that none of it really defines who you are. It's all just static, whether it's loud remarks in your face or whispers behind your back. Trying to minimize oneself in order to escape the backlash is the ultimate trap. Dimming your light to accommodate others undermines your goal rather than protecting you. Being exceptional means sticking to your vision, even if it causes discomfort, rather than trying to please everyone. Save your time and stop defending yourself when someone criticizes you. Never allow their views determine your value. Instead, let your efforts speak louder and your results mute the noise. Those who are chosen want mastery rather than approval. Critiques and crowns will always coexist. We both learn from one another. What sets legends apart from the others is that balance. Fifth, when you outgrow the wrong individuals, the right ones come along. Relationships may be surprisingly upended by growth. You'll begin to realize that certain folks are no longer a good match for your life as you level up. Their presence begins to burden rather than uplift you. Conversations seem forced, and support becomes slack. It may hurt, particularly if those individuals were formerly your closest friends or even relatives. The fact is, however, that not everyone is destined to accompany you into the next phase. You naturally outgrow folks who are stagnant while you're progressing. It's only a change of alignment, not arrogance. Some may drift away from you as your progress pushes them beyond their comfort zone. Although it might be difficult to move on from such losses, clinging to those who lack your enthusiasm will only impede your development. This method has the advantage of making room for the proper individuals to join your life. Those who will recognize your vision, encourage your aspirations, and support your goal. They are motivated by your progress rather than intimidated by it. They are the ones that push you to improve, rejoice in your victories without jealousy, and support you during difficult times. The catch is that you won't discover them until the dead weight is released. Give up pursuing connections that are no longer active. Let go with appreciation, and have faith that new relationships will develop organically. That's how the universe operates. People who share your values are drawn to you when you raise yourself. Therefore, don't be scared to leave those who are unable to keep up. Your path requires it. And you'll see that the loss was never a setback, but rather a prelude to something bigger when the proper people arrive. The sixth is that your secret algorithm is your focus. Your greatest strength is your obsession, not a weakness. When things become tough, selected ones go right in. While most individuals only dabble in their hobbies, dip a toe in and walk on. You delve deeply and examine every aspect until you grasp it, rather than only glancing at the surface. Your unwavering concentration is your secret formula, the blueprint that opens doors others can only imagine. The world often advises you to calm down, take it easy, and balance your life. However, when you're predisposed for excellence, balance is overrated. Being obsessive is about being purposeful, not careless. Your mind won't stop working on an issue until it's resolved, which causes you to wake up at strange hours. It's choose mastery over mediocrity, progress over comfort, and discipline over distraction. You know that's the key to success, even if others refer to it as madness. The worst part is that obsession generates momentum that is unmatched by consistency alone. Time bends, ideas flow, connections occur, and development quickens when you're totally absorbed. Because you've spent many hours learning the terrain, you see possibilities where others perceive difficulties. With that amount of dedication, you are unstoppable. Obsession has compromises, of course. Missed social events, wasted sleep, and times when others just don't understand. However, the benefits of obsession, mastery, innovation, and the capacity to do something really remarkable far outweigh those costs. For those who dare to put their all into it, the world is theirs. Obsession isn't just a peculiarity. It's your competitive advantage. So keep pushing when others halt and diving where others hesitate. And it is usually the zealots who are the ones that really alter the game. The seventh is that difficulty puts your spiritual blueprint to the test. Adversity is an initiation, not a random event. The universe doesn't just give you the secrets to success when you're selected for greatness. It first puts your spirit, will, and results to the test. It challenges you with turmoil and poses the harsh question, are you really built for this? The test might seem as losses, betrayals, setbacks, or times when you try your hardest and nothing appears to succeed. These indicate that you're in the midst of the transformation process, not that you're headed in the wrong direction. The cosmos is preparing you, not punishing you, because what is beyond that hardship demands a strength, clarity, and fortitude that can only be developed by hardship. The fact is that when life is simple, anybody may have huge dreams. However, selected ones are identified by their presence at times of crisis. Do you give up or keep going? Do you find purpose in the lunacy, or do you allow resentment to devour you? Your spiritual blueprint, the unwavering basis upon which excellence is based, is exposed at these times. And there's no denying the satisfaction when you pass the exam. Once locked doors open, possibilities present yourself with ease. But more significantly, you become the unstoppable version of yourself. Someone who knows they can overcome any obstacle because they have previously done so. Therefore, when life becomes harsh, ask yourself, what is forming me into, rather than why it is happening to you? Because every chosen one graduates with honors, and every storm is but a school. The return is what creates legends, but the cost is great. The eighth is that iron-willed confidence is built on a lack of praise. Praise, if it comes at all, is often delayed for chosen ones. Your accomplishments may go unappreciated or, at most, get courteous recognition, while others receive applause for their mediocrity. It certainly can sting. However, that lack of recognition has a secret advantage. It pushes you to develop your inner confidence. To feel valuable, most individuals need approval from others. Their confidence collapses when they are deprived of the praise, likes, and comments they want like a narcotic. However, you learn a valuable lesson when you become accustomed to not receiving applause. You don't need it. Rather, you cultivate a strong sense of self that is unaffected by trends, views, or acceptance. In the best sense, this kind of confidence is uncommon and risky. Because no one can manipulate you by withholding or dangling praise, it renders you impervious to manipulation. Your motivation is not popularity, but purpose. Whether or not others agree with you, you are aware of your value, and your independence turns into one of your strongest traits. To share the love of the angels, write Amen, and contribute up to $20 with a super thank you. Naturally, there may be times when you question if your efforts are worthwhile or even noticed. It's normal. However, those that are selected don't look to the masses for approval. Instead, they let their influence do the talking. The world eventually catches up. Even if you may not get recognition right away, you will be so certain in your identity by then that it won't even look for you. Ironically, many who formerly disregarded you will now question how you managed to become so unstoppable. The solution is straightforward. You believed in yourself before you waited for their approval. Your confidence was built on scarcity, and nothing or anybody can now undermine it. The ninth is that you produce rather than compete. When you are selected for greatness, competition doesn't matter. You don't want to play that game when everyone else is obsessed with who is ahead, who is winning, and who is lagging behind. Chosen ones create rather than compete. They are too busy rewriting the whole playbook to be concerned about beating others. They outperform themselves rather than attempting to surpass others. They push limits, defy expectations, and create something that has never been seen before. The majority of individuals get mired in a cycle of comparison, always evaluating their accomplishments in relation to those of others. However, this way of thinking is restrictive for the selected. You understand that attempting to outrun someone in a race that isn't even yours is pointless. Both your journey and your vision are distinct. It doesn't matter who's ahead. You're too busy making your own path. And when you do, you come to the profound realization that the game was always about creativity rather than competition. Everything changes when you quit the rat race and begin to create. You begin to see people as possible partners or sources of inspiration rather than as threats. Your goal is to innovate and create something new and important for the world, not to win. The outcome? You redefine success itself rather than just succeeding. The goal of your road plan is to pave new paths, render outdated practices obsolete, and establish new benchmarks that others will adhere to, not to climb over others to reach the summit. They're caught up in a pointless game, so quit worrying about the competition. You are too preoccupied with creating an empire that no one can match. And that is what greatness really means. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. Greatness is not something that is bestowed. Rather, it is forged by hardship, selflessness, and unwavering dedication. This is most profoundly understood by the selected ones. They are aware that the path to mastery isn't lined with comfort or praise, but rather with periods of uncertainty, restless nights, and choices that challenge their fundamental essence. They forge their own route, which others will ultimately follow, rather than competing with the outside world. They accept failure as a valuable lesson, understanding that it marks the start of their greatest creative discoveries, rather than their demise. Even while the public may rejoice over their accomplishments, it never realizes the actual cost, the unsaid loneliness of choosing a less traveled route, the betrayals of comfort, and the quiet struggles. Greatness is fundamentally a dedication to something far bigger than one's own glory. It's a pledge to your best self that you will keep going down the path no matter how difficult it becomes, because they have already validated themselves via their acts, their quiet, and their capacity to continue moving ahead when others expect them to give up. The chosen ones don't require validation. They understand that their destiny is not only something that can be attained, but rather something that they are creating daily via the sacrifices they are prepared to make and their faith in their own abilities. Thus, keep in mind that greatness is a constant state of being rather than a final goal, and those who pursue it relentlessly at all costs are the ones who are picked. Now is the time to act if you're prepared to accept the journey of greatness. Click subscribe to join a community that lives success rather than simply talking about it. To demonstrate your dedication to realizing your full potential, like the video. We want to hear from you, so please leave a comment below with your ideas. Your voice counts. Additionally, as this is just the beginning, remember to subscribe once more. You're in the correct place if you're prepared to change, to stand out, and to be reminded that you're not only a member of the crowd, you're here to lead it. Let's begin. May you be blessed.